Hello students, we have already started with the chapter organisms and population. In this chapter we have learned up till now different factors which are affecting the population and what are the adaptations which a organism is making for survival purpose. Now remaining part of the chapter we are going to learn in today's video. Population interaction. This is the topic which is very important from the point of view of understanding how the population of a particular species is increasing or what kind of factors are affecting to decrease the population of the species. So living organisms interact in various ways to form biological communities. So different biological communities are formed by the living organism and they are interacting with the various communities of them. Interspecific interaction and intraspecific interaction. These are the two main interaction which a organism is making with the biological communities which are there in his surrounding. So interspecific interaction, in that it is the interaction of the population of two different species. Two different species are interacting with each other, are depend on each other for different kind of purpose, and they are surviving with each other. So there is a kind of coordination between two different species, and this is called interspecific interaction. Intraspecific interaction is the next interaction. It is the interaction of individual of the same species. So among the same species there is a interaction between different individual of the same species. So this is a kind of intraspecific interaction. The interactions are as follow. These interactions are as follows. Interactions are named with the help of their behavior. So there are different kind of interaction. One first is predation, second is competition, next is parasitism, then commensalism, amensalism and mutualism. So these are the different kind of interaction in which the species between example is taken species A and species B, and between these two species who is getting benefit and who is not getting benefit or who is getting harm. This is mentioned in the chart which is shown in the slide. In that species A and species B, below there positive and negative sign is shown. That means in which kind of interaction the species A is getting benefit, species B is getting harm, or species B is getting benefit and species A is getting harm, or both are getting harm or both are getting benefit, and which interaction in which there is no harm, no kind of use of interaction is there for them. So they are neutral. That is explained. Like first predation. In predation two species are there. In that one species A is getting benefit and B is in loss, because predation is the interaction in which the first species is taking use or making use of the other species for eating or for getting food. Next is the competition. In that both are getting harm, because whosoever will get benefit, the other will get harm. So in that the energy loss is there of both of them, so it is shown negative sign there. Then parasitism. In that one species A is getting benefit and the other one B is getting or at loss. Commensalism. In that one species is getting benefit, the other neither benefit nor loss. Then amensalism. In that one is at loss and other is at neutral, not having loss, not having gain. Next is mutualism. In mutualism both are getting benefit. So this way the positive and negative sign along with the zero is mentioned in this chart to understand how is the interaction useful or harmful. First, predation. It is an interspecific interaction in which predation, a strong animal kills and consume prey, and that means weak animal. The strong animal eats or kills and consumes the weak animal. Therefore, one species is getting benefit and the other is harmed. So predation is a way to transfer the energy from lower trophic level to the higher trophic level. This is a simple way understanding of the predation. Predation keep the prey population under control. So there is a kind of limited population of the prey. Otherwise, prey reach very high population density and will cause imbalance in the ecosystem. So to avoid this, there is the predation kind of interaction which is keeping the prey population limited. Next, sometimes predators are used as biological control for pests. For example, the ladybird are useful to control aphids and dragonflies for mosquitoes. So dragonflies and mosquitoes are eating this to control the aphids. So aphids and dragonflies are the prey of ladybird are useful to control aphids. So they are eating aphids, so aphid is under control, and dragonflies are eating mosquito, so mosquito population will be under control. Prey species have evolved various defense mechanisms, and because of which they are trying to survive more and avoid death to reduce impact of predation, and that is why there is some of the species is found they are making a kind of modification in their body. Certain insect species and frogs have camouflage, that is cryptic coloration, that means they have changed their color so that they won't be able to recognize very easily. On this slide you will be able to understand the color of the frog and the rock is similar because he has developed a modification so that he is not able to get recognized, and his presence will not be noticed, and automatically the insect species will come without knowing that frog is sitting there. Similarly, such kind of modification is done by some species. So camouflage, it is called camouflage, cryptic colorization. Cryptic colorization means getting modified to the color of surrounding or where they are present. Monarch butterfly is very distasteful towards prey bird. It has a special chemical in its body. This chemical is produced during its caterpillar stage by feeding on the poisonous weeds. So they are feeding on the poisonous weeds and they are controlling that weeds, but they are developing or making use of that for as food. So they don't get harm, but they are very useful in eating this weed, and so the harm will be avoided to the other farm or other plants of the farm. Herbivores are the predators of the plants. The problem of predation is more severe for plants than the animal as they cannot move. So if any herbivores come to eat the plant, you can see the goat is eating plant, so she will keep on eating how much food she will get in surrounding. And the drawback is the prey, that means plant won't be having any choice because they can't move. So even if they are knowing that they are being getting eaten, they will be not possibly moving anywhere. So their population cannot be stable. It will be reduced. About 25% of known insect are the phytophagous and feed on the plant sap. So they are phytophagous, means they are feeding on or eating the cell sap of the plant cell sap. So So they are sitting on the leaf stem part, and they are sucking the sap of the plant cell. And once the plant cell is sucked, then the more and more cells and tissues are getting damaged. These are some examples of herbivores which are eating plants. Plants have developed certain morphological and chemical defense mechanisms. So they have also started, as they can't move from one place to another place, to avoid getting eaten by the animal. What they are doing, they are developing their modification in their morphology, as well as some chemical defense mechanism against some herbivores they have developed, so that the thorns in bougainvillea and spines in acacia, these are the example of it, because of which they are possibly getting a kind of protection against getting eaten. Certain chemicals produced by the plants act as defense. So calotropis produce this plant you can see in the slide. This is the plant, you may be knowing, it is very common plant called calotropis, which produces highly poisonous glycoside, that is a cardiac poison. So if any animal tries to eat it, it will be responsible for directly affecting on the circulation, blood circulation process of their body. So it is very poisonous chemical. Glycoside affects the blood circulation or the working of the heart. Nicotine, caffeine, quinine, then strychnine, opium, etc. are the chemicals produced by the plants against herbivores. So they shouldn't get eaten. For that purpose, these all chemicals are being produced by different kind of plants. Next is competition. Competition is an interaction among the individuals of same species, so that it is a kind of intraspecific kind of interaction, and between individuals of the different species. It is also a kind of interspecific interaction. Competition between two individuals of same species is for same resources that are limited. So it is limited individuals of the same species fighting for food or same food. In some case, resources need not be limiting for competition to occur. The feeding efficiency of one species might be reduced due to the interfering of other species. So, in some cases it is observed that when there is a competition between two different species, they are fighting for that food. But in some cases it is also observed that there is not actual fight, but it is the less capacity of eating of one individual, which is responsible for making the other to eat more, or giving chance for other to eat more, and in that there will be the benefit of the second one than the first one. Example, a Abingdon tortoise, it is a kind of name of the variety, Abingdon tortoise in Galapagos Island become extinct within a decade after the goats were introduced into the island. So the goats has introduced into the island, and because of the goats, this tortoise has vanished or is extinct from that area, because they were fighting for the food, and as the tortoise is very slow in eating, the goats were completely consuming the maximum food of the area, and so the goat used to get the maximum food, and the tortoise used to get starved. And this is the reason because of which the island is now not having this kind of variety of the tortoise. It was due to the fact that the goats had greater browsing efficiency than the tortoise. Unrelated species also compete for same sources. For example, flamingo and fish compete for zooplankton. So zooplanktons are available in the water, and flamingo also eats it, and fish also tries to eat it. So you can imagine the fight between the flamingo and fish to compete for the or fight for the zooplankton or eating zooplankton. Competitive release. A species whose distribution is restricted to a small geographical area because of the presence of the competitive superior species is called competitive release. That means some of the species are like that, they are getting distributed in the restricted geographical area, and the reason behind it is the presence of competitive species who is competitively superior species, and that species presence of that species is responsible for making them grow in a particular area only, or being present in the specific area only. This species is found to expand its distributional range dramatically when the competing species is experimentally removed. So this species is found to expand its distribution range and dramatically when the competing species is experimentally removed. Gauss's competitive exclusion principle. It states that two closely related species competing for the same resources cannot exist together, and the competitively inferior will be eliminated by superior. And it is very true. When there is a competition between two species who are competing for food of or the same kind of food, that time whoever is superior will get all the benefit or will get maximum benefit, and who is less superior or inferior, they will be getting harm or they will be at loss. Resource partitioning. It is the mechanism meant for coexistence of the species to face competition. So in competition only this resource partitioning is there. That means they are coexist, two different species are coexist, they are exist together. According to this, if two species compete for the same resource, they could avoid competition by choosing different times for feeding or different foraging patterns. So this way this competition would be avoided, or this competition would not make a big difference, so that there should be a kind of different timing of their feeding for the food, or there should be a different pattern, so that there will be no harm caused to any of them. For example, MacArthur showed that 5 closely related species of warbles living on the same tree were able to coexist and avoid competition by having behavioral differences in their foraging, that means hunting activity. So these the 4 birds which are shown, they all together were living on the same tree, but for the food purpose they have started behavioral differences. That means out of them few used to sit on some higher branches, some used to sit on the lower placed branches. So they used to be seated in at the different location of the same plant, so that there will be no harm to anyone. Everyone should get benefit. Next is parasitism. Parasitism is the interspecific interaction where one of the species, parasite, depends on other species like host. So the parasites are depend on the host for the food and the shelter. So host get harm and parasite gets benefit out of it. Parasites are host specific, and parasite and its host tend to co-evolve. So one is getting evolved, the other one is also getting evolved. So like that way they are showing simultaneous evolution. that is called co-evolved. Co-evolved, it means that if the host evolved a special mechanism to reject or resist the parasite has to evolve the mechanism to neutralize them. Otherwise, he will be getting, or he will be at risk and he will not get any benefit. So, if the host is getting evolved in any kind of mechanism, parasite also has to evolve himself. Parasites adaptations. Parasite tends to co-evolve. It may loss of sense organs, presence of suckers or hooks, loss of digestive system, high reproductive capacity. Some parasites have complex life cycle and generally have one or two intermediate hosts. Okay, so parasite may get evolved in different way, and when he will become evolved, he may show the loss of sense organ, he may show the presence of sucker and hooks to suck the food, to get the food, to get hold in a particular place. Loss of digestive system can be seen, or high reproductive capacity also seen, so that their number of the population will increase. Some parasites have complex life cycle, so they show complex life cycle, generally have one or more intermediate host, so that they will be depend on maximum host and they will be completing their life cycle by making use of it. Intermediate hosts act as vector which facilitates parasitization of the host. So they are responsible for increasing the parasitization of the host. Human liver fluke has two intermediate hosts, a snail and a fish. So this fluke has two hosts to complete his life cycle. Where malaria parasite has intermediate two hosts, mosquito and human, to spread to other host, to get spread to the other host. They are using intermediate host which is called mosquito. Human lice and ticks are ectoparasite, means they are living on the body, they are not living inside the body and sucking food, they are living on the body of the living organism. Coptod, the ectoparasites on some marine fish, they are also responsible for getting food by being present on the surface of the other organism. Cuscuta is a parasitic plant, grows on the tree or shrubs. So here is the Cuscuta plant and it grows on the other plant. It lost its chlorophyll and leaves during evolution, so it cannot show the photosynthesis, and for the food they are completely depend on the other plant. They suck the food from the other plant cell. It gets its nutrition from the host plant by hostoria. So hostoria is nothing but a kind of anchoring part which is anchored by them for getting entry inside the other plant cell to suck the cell sac of the plant. Commensalism, it is interspecific interaction in which one species benefits and the other is neither harmed nor benefited. So this commensalism is a kind of phenomenon in which the one organism is getting benefit from other, but the other is not getting harm, being providing food or the thing to the earlier one. Example, epiphytes, that is orchids growing on the tree branches, so they are just taking the shelter, they are just taking the support of other tree as they could not reach to the sunlight to get the sunlight, otherwise they are not having any use of being on the branches of the plant. Barnacles growing on the back of the whales. So there is association between the egrets and grazing cattle as well. So they are responsible for a kind of association with each other, body association with each other. So these egrets always forage, collects the food close to the cattle, and grazing because they easily get insects. The clownfish living along with the sea anemone. Clownfish get protection from the predators being present with the sea anemone. Suckerfish on the back of shark. This suckerfish on the back of shark also get a kind of protection, and a kind of they are getting hidden so that they will be not seen by the predator. Next phenomenon or next interaction is mutualism. It is the interspecific interaction in which both the species interact, gets benefited. So they are getting benefit by interacting with each other. Example, lichens are relationship between fungus and the algae. So close association of the fungus and algae is making lichen. These lichens are the kind of living organism formed from the combination of fungus and algae. Cyanobacteria, or in that algae or cyanobacteria. Next is mycorrhiza and association of the fungus with the roots of the higher plants, so that plants provide energy yielding carbohydrates to the fungi, and fungi does the nitrogen fixation to the plant. Plant depends on insects for pollination, and in return they give them nectar or pollen to eat. So it is a kind of benefit for them, and along with them the pollination is possible to, because they are with their body pollen grain may travel, so that pollination is possible. That's why the plants are depend on the insect for the pollination. Animals help the plant in seed dispersal, and in return they give fruits to animal as food. So animals are helping plants for the seed dispersal, and the dispersal of seed is a kind of benefit with the plant. Next example of the mutualism is fig tree and pollinator species of wasp. These both are getting benefit. The fig species can be pollinated by its partner wasp only, and wasps are getting food from the fig. So both association or interaction is mutualism. Next interaction is amensalism. It is the interspecific interaction in which one is harmed and the other is neither benefited nor harmed. So harm is also not there, and benefit is also not there or not seen. This is a kind of amensalism. So example is penicillin, which secretes the chemical penicillin which kills the bacteria, and this penicillin, name the interaction in which the following are seen. There are some example given, like cuscuta growing on the shoe flower plant. So this kind of interaction will be when the cuscuta growing on the shoe flower plant, this interaction is we can predict that cuscuta plant is getting benefit of shoe flower. So this interaction is parasitism. Second example is mycorrhiza living on the roots of higher plant. This interaction is mutualism, because mycorrhiza gives the benefit of fixing nitrogen and to the plants, and plants mycorrhiza gets benefit of sucking nutrition. Then clownfish living among the tentacles of sea anemone. This interaction will be commensalism. Okay. Then next is coal laying her eggs in crow's nest. This will be a kind of phenomenon called parasitism, but it will be a kind of brood parasitism, because the hatching out is only the benefit which a coal getting from the crow's nest. Next is 5 closely related species of the warblers living on the same tree. So this will be a kind of competition for the resources. Okay. Okay, so these are the main points of the chapter. This chapter has we have covered everything of this chapter. Now we will see a short video based on the same chapter.
You may think it is going independently.
Okay, we have completed this chapter. Remaining part of this chapter we will cover in next video.